In this video, we'll see about the document object model, in short called DOM. DOM is a W3C standard, that is, W3C here means World Wide Web Consortium. According to W3C, DOM is a platform and language independent interface that allows programs and scripts to dynamically access and update the content, structure, and style of a document. And this DOM standard is separated into three different parts. One is core DOM, the other one is XML DOM, the third one is HTML DOM. Core DOM is a standard model for all document types, whereas XML DOM is a standard model for XML documents, and HTML DOM is a standard model for HTML documents. In DOM, document is represented as a logical tree, and each node of the tree represents an object of the document. This is the tree structure of core DOM, where we have at the root navigator followed by, that is, navigator's node. Child node is window, and which has 4 child nodes. Screen is tree, location, document, which are all objects that we use in a browser window. And inside the document object we have two child nodes. One is elements, the other one is events. And elements again have two child nodes, HTML and XML. And this HTML DOM has various child, that is, two child nodes are shown here, head and body. Okay, and inside the head we have children nodes, and also under the body we have further nodes, child nodes that describe the HTML document. In this video, I will be discussing only about the HTML DOM, and it is a standard object model, as I said before, that is used for HTML documents, and it defines the HTML elements inside the HTML document as objects, and also defines the properties of all HTML elements, methods to access all HTML elements, and the events for all HTML elements. These are all defined inside a HTML DOM. And HTML DOM methods here means are actions that users can perform on HTML elements, and HTML DOM properties are values that can be set or changed by the user. We'll see the details in the further slides. These are the objects of HTML DOM: window, console, document, location, navigator, and history. We'll see each of them briefly in the further slides. First is window object. It represents the browser window. As I said before, objects have methods, events, and properties, and these are some of the methods of window object. One is alert, that is the alert dialog box. It displays the alert box with a message and OK button. And confirm displays a dialog box with a message and an OK and cancel button. Prompt displays a dialog box that prompts the user for input. These three methods I have mentioned previously in another video in detail. Next is print method. Print opens the print dialog box, which lets the user to select preferred printing options. And there is open method, which opens a new browser window. These are some of the methods of window object. These are the properties of window object. First is console. It returns a reference to the console object, which we'll be seeing in the next slide, which provides methods for logging. And the next property is document, which returns the document object for the window. History returns the history object for the window. Location returns the location object for the window. Navigator returns the navigator object for the window. And frames will return all iframe elements in the current window. If there are multiple frames in a browser window, and that elements will be returned in the frames. Next object is console. It is actually a property of a window object. This console object is used to display the messages in the console of the debugging window. Okay. The methods used are clear and log. There are several methods available. I have introduced here only two of them. Clear clears the console. This is what the console is, as you can see below. In order to get this window, you have to press F12 on your keyboard to view the message in the console view, and the output is displayed in the console. As you can see in the example, I have used a console.log, which is the second method, and inside the brackets give the message to be displayed, and that message is displayed if you press F12 on the keyboard. You can see a window like this where the message hello is displayed. Okay. Next object is document object. It represents the HTML document that is loaded in the browser window. There are several methods and properties for this object. I have listed here only a few of them. Get element by ID. Within brackets you can specify the ID of the element. It returns the element that has the ID attribute with the specified value that you give within the brackets. Second is get elements okay, by name. Within brackets you give the name of the elements, that is some elements can have the same name, like identifier. The name need not be unique for an element. So if a set of elements have the same name, you can specify those elements by specifying their name within brackets. It returns the HTML collection containing all elements with the specified name. Similarly, we can have get elements by class name. It also returns a HTML collection containing all elements with the specified class name. Next is a write and write-ln methods, which I have discussed in the previous videos. Write writes HTML expressions or JavaScript code to a document, same as write, but write-ln is same as write, but adds a new line character after each statement. In this methods or properties, the place where I have given capital letters should be given as such, otherwise it will show it as an error. This is an example using document object. In this and the body section, I have 4 elements, 2 divs, 1 span and a paragraph. And in the script section, I have used 2 methods of document object, which is get element by ID and get elements by name. In the first div portion, I'm going to print the message as hello. So in order to do that, you have to give the object name document dot get element by ID within brackets the ID of the div, which is here disp, and close bracket dot inner HTML. That is the property used by get element by ID to print a message on the document. So that prints the, as you can see in the output, it prints the message hello in the first div portion. In the next three elements, the div span and P has the same name A. In order to perform operations based on this elements, I'm using a get elements by name. Within brackets give the name. In this case it is A. So V is a variable that contains the list of elements with the name A. So get elements by name will collect all the elements with the same name A into the variable V, and this variable V is represented as an array, like an array. So you can access each element like this. V of 0 represents the first element, that is first element with name A, that is in this case it is div. Second element with the index 1 is, that is span, and V of 2 here represents P, paragraph P. And in all the three cases I am printing a message on the document. So I am using here, in all the three cases I am using the property inner HTML for that purpose. And you can see the messages printed on the output. Next object is location object, which contains information about the current URL. There are several properties of location object. I have listed here only few. One is host, which sets or returns the host name and port number of a URL, and a host name sets or returns the host name of a URL. Port returns the port number of the URL. Protocol is returns the protocol of a URL. And in this example I have used only the property window.location.protocol, as you can see on the fourth line of the code, that is you can see location.protocol, for which the output displayed is file. Since my file is run offline, it will display the protocol as file. And the methods are assign, which loads a new document. As you can see in the example given in the code, it has been commented, because if I run this location.assign, it will move on to the given URL. Okay, it will be loading this URL page. So in that case it will not be displaying the second line of my script, that is document.getElementById will not be displayed on the window. That's why I have commented it. If you uncomment it and see, you can see that it loads this particular URL. While giving the URL, it is must that you have to give the protocol also. In this case the protocol given is HTTPS. Reload will reload the current document, that is it refreshes the current document. Replace will replace the current document with a new document, that is within brackets you need to specify the URL of the new document. Next is navigator object. It contains information about the browser. The properties of navigator are app name, that is it returns the name of the browser. App version will return the version information of the browser. Geolocation returns a geolocation object. It is again an object that can be used to locate the user's position. So you need to specify the properties, corresponding properties, to view the values of geolocation. It will represent the, it will display the latitude and longitude of the of your location, of the user's location. Language returns the language of the browser. Platform returns for which platform the browser is compiled. And the method that is used here is there are only two methods. The one is deprecated, the only available current method is Java enabled. It specifies whether or not the browser has a Java enabled. We'll see examples using navigator object. Here, as you can see in a document.writeln, the first line navigator.app name. As you can see in the corresponding output, Netscape is the browser that has been displayed here, and the browser version is 5.0, and also other details are mentioned, which system operating system is used. Other informations are provided here, and whether Java enabled, that is, we are using here the Java enabled method, for which it displays the answer as false. And browser platform is gives the platform that is used here, that is Mac Intel is used, and the browser language has been specified as EN-GB, which indicates the British English, United Kingdom English. Next is about the history object. The history object contains the URLs visited by the user, and its only property is length, and it returns the number of URLs in the history list. And methods are, these are the only methods available: go, forward, and back. Back loads the previous URL in the history list. Forward will load the next URL in the history list. Go will load a specific URL from the history list. This is an example using history object, where I have used length property, and for which you can see the result as number of visited URLs as 1. This is because this example, you can see the note, read the note. This example is opened in a new frame and it will be treated as a new session. That's why it shows the number of visited URLs as 1 always. Okay. And document.writeln previous page, that is when you go back to the previous page, there is no previous URL in the history list. That is because we are in the offline mode. That's all about the DOM objects. Thank you.